Awesome. We are officially live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Chiropractic Compass podcast brought to you by the legendary Chiropractor online community. Today, we're here with your host, Johnny Reuter, of course, and our lovely, lovely guest and inspiring entrepreneur and chiropractor, Dr. Daniel Knowles, also known as Dr. Danny. So, today we are talking all about Mile High and what you need to know in order to get there in the next 48 hours, right, Doc?
That's it.
Everything you need to know in the next 48 hours so that you can book your ticket, save a ton of money, and get to Mile High in Denver, Colorado. And so just a brief introduction about Dr. Danny is he is a practicing chiropractor still to this day in Colorado, in Denver, Colorado. He absolutely loves practice, loves life. And you practice, I believe, network spinal analysis. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Wonderful. And so I'm going to pick your brain on that a little bit today and just kind of try to understand a little bit more for students who are watching out there that maybe don't know as much about spinal analysis or network, I guess, as they should. And I think that all chiropractic techniques work, and I think that all chiropractors, do the right thing to get the patient the end result of healthy and lifestyle of well-being and health and optimal potential and all those things you want to name. But it's interesting when you talk to different doctors that have different approaches, and I'd love to pick your brain a little bit on that, as well as, obviously, Mile High. So, Doc, without further ado, please give yourself a brief introduction, who you are, where you come from, and what got you into chiropractic and starting a seminar, and where did you see the gap that, really needed to be bridged, which is why a lot of people create these seminars?
Well, let's start out with that. First of all, kudos to you for starting the legendary Chiropractor. Really love it. Love that you're doing this. Great job. Second of all, if you are watching this live, you have a very important job to do, which is to give it a thumbs up, to like it, or give it a heart, even better, okay, and share it to your favorite chiropractic group, page, friend, messenger, whatever it is, so they can get in on this live, because this is vital information. Glad to talk about network, glad to talk about Mile High, but first and foremost, I'm a chiropractor. Okay, so am I supposed to introduce myself, let people know me a little bit better at this point?
Absolutely, yeah, go for it.
Deal. I'm a chiropractor full and through. I was called to be a chiropractor. I was meant to be a chiropractor. Everything, the stars aligned in such a way that against my my immature thought process when I was 20, thinking that was the last thing I wanted to do, I was destined to be a chiropractor. Most people do not realize this. I'm a second-generation chiropractor. I'm married to a chiropractor. My mom and my dad are both chiropractors. My mom and my stepdad, that is. And a brother-in-law. So we have 5 chiropractors, at least in my family, maybe more than that. But, also I'm a Sherman grad. Got the clinical excellence award at Sherman graduation. And I got a lot of awards. I got this IFCO Service to the Professional Award, and I got this one, Distinguished Service Award, and the best one is this one from Lily Serrano, where she got me this Best Parents Award. I like that one. Sent me to me and Rochelle. So I practice. I don't think I could ever be out of practice. That's my love, changing people's spines, lives, and minds. Not only do I do that with Mile High, but I also do it from Lifetime Wellness Practice. And yes, I teach network. I've done network since that's all I've ever learned, right? I learned basic chiropractic in school, but network, to me, network is chiropractic. It's the essence of the philosophy, science, and art. And so I've done that from the get-go. It's the only way I practice. We do a high-volume practice in Colorado. And we did not start Mile High because, I wanted to do a seminar. There's nothing to do with that whatsoever. There was no, desire of, I have to do a seminar to be an entrepreneur or make money or any of that shit. Oh, there's something else I should say before we do anything else.
Yeah.
Everybody should stop. Okay, if you've got a car, pull over, if you're watching this, all right? And you want to take out a pad and pen and write down www.riseuptomilehigh.com. riseup2milehigh.com and reserve your seats within the next 48 hours because rates are rising. So decide to rise up to Mile High. Look, seminars at sea level are for slackers. So, rise up to Mile High, www.riseup2milehigh.com, saves $100 off registration. After 48 hours, you lose. And students rates rise double, basically rates double. It's a ridiculously low registration for students. It's a no-brainer, and the best people in chiropractic are going to be there. So back to talking about me. Went to Sherman College because in my mind, fully entrenched, it was the only place you could learn to be a chiropractor. That was my mindset when I applied. Everything else was the schools did not teach chiropractic, and Sherman was the one that did. That was, my thought process back then. And if I wanted to be the best chiropractor, that's where I went to. Since then, practice in Colorado. I've done lots of stuff for political action. Most of Mile High forming was really political action. There was a big push in our states for expansion into drugs. And it was my way to get people to take action on that, was doing that program. So basically, if it wasn't for Mile High, there would be drugs and chiropractic in Colorado, I have no doubt.
Yeah. So, Doc, here's the thing. I just shared this video all over the place. It needs to be shared. So I'm going to give you some time, but I would love for you to share this with your platform all over the place. But thank you so much for that amazing introduction. And to give Dr. Danny some credibility here, if he doesn't have enough already, right? He's an incredible human being. And, it's the whole entire attitude behind why you started Mile High that I love the most, right? It wasn't to become an entrepreneur. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't about, I have to start a seminar just because I have to start a seminar because I'm a chiropractor and it's a good way to make money or whatnot. You started it because it's a grassroots movement and you were like, I'm going to work my butt off. You and your wife are going to work your butt off to be the best chiropractors you can possibly be and then share all of that knowledge and experience with people on the stage in front of them, but also bring people from all over the world to talk on your stage about chiropractic science, philosophy, and art, as well as the business of chiropractic, which I think, a lot of times I've had Dr. Liam Schubel on this show many a times, and he says the logo I've created, where the north is, I should have business as the fourth pillar of chiropractic. And I 100% agree with him on that. And so it's seminars like yours, and it's seminars like all of these doctors are doing that are putting on great events for everyone, for all the students to have and to utilize. And I mean, it's $50 to go as a student right now, is it not?
Yep, that is it.
It's $50 to go as a student. That is an unbeatable price, according to me. And I mean, even though prices are going to double in the next 48 hours here, still, you gotta get there, guys. Open your pocketbooks, open your checkbooks, open your wallets, whatever you gotta do. Get to Mile High because it's going to be the place to be come August 15th, 16th, 17th, or 16th, 17th, 18th?
15th to 18th. 15th to 18th.
15 to 18. 4 days. That's incredible. This is incredible value. So, Doc, I want you to tell us a little bit more. Before we get into Mile High and why it's so important, I want you to talk to us a little bit about spinal network or network spinal analysis and what kind of approach is it? Is it a tonal approach? Is it, a more mechanical approach? What kind of approach is it? And then what kind of results are you seeing? Obviously, great results, but what kind of results are you seeing and what made you jump into network spinal analysis?
So before that, I'm going to talk about Liam Schubel.
Hit me.
So I just want to say, up until now, since you had Liam on, that was probably your best episode. But that will no longer be the case now that we're doing this episode. just let that be known and put the record in there for that. And he said about the four pillars of chiropractic and adding business. He got that from me. He keeps taking my material. I've gotten used to it. and he takes credit for it. But that's okay. I still love him and appreciate him, because there would be no Mile High without Liam Schubel, honestly. Dear friend, and his inspiration, his really inspired me. Some things that he said to me, with he didn't even realize he said, that like lit a fire for me to take some action. So there really would not be a Mile High without Liam Schubel's inspiration. So I appreciate that about him.
Yeah.
As far as network, so unfortunately, people have so many misunderstandings about chiropractic.
Yes.
They have so many understandings about chiropractic philosophy, science, and art. If you think network, there's a lot of people that say, well, network is not chiropractic. If you think network is not chiropractic, then you don't know chiropractic. You don't understand chiropractic. Flat out, if you do not think network is chiropractic for some reason, you either don't understand philosophy, don't understand adjusting, don't understand science, or something relative to the chiropractic principles. You don't understand the 33 principles. You just do not understand chiropractic if you think in any way, shape, or form network spinal analysis is not chiropractic. So that being said, how did I find it? It's how I found chiropractic. A lot of people don't know this. I might now all of a sudden see a surprise on your face when I say this. Dr. Donnie Epstein, the developer, it's my dad. So that's how I found that. He's my stepdad. But I was in undergrad when him and my mom started dating, and then she got married. She was in chiropractic school, and I'd been a chiropractic patient, through my teens. It turned around my health, but I never thought about it as a career. But none of the chiropractors I spoke with, I went or saw, ever talked about subluxation or innate intelligence or the power of adjustment. It was really just something I went and did, but I never had any kind of talking about what it was. He was so in your face about the power of subluxation, the adjustment, how life-changing, innate intelligence, like to a point that I was like, can you just shut up? It was like that degree, as a perspective of a young kid in undergrad that's, got a new person dating their mom, that kind of perspective, that point of view, you could probably, people can relate to that. They understand how they, so however I started getting care, and it's so meshed with my personal values for health, life, and well-being that I was like, this is the only thing I've ever felt passionate about. I've had a passion about that since then, but, it never, it's been grown since then. But I was like, this is the first thing I had a passion of calling for. Network care, for a little background, Network Spinal is developed by Donald Epstein. He was a New York-based chiropractor, 2 offices, 1,200 people a week. He was legendary in that area at that time. Arnaud Bernier was one of his team teachers. Arnaud used to drive to get checked by him, as well as lots of other people in that area. He was the chiropractor's chiropractor. Any day you would go to get checked, first of all, you would have to sign in and go to a movie and come back because there was such a line. Number 2, that there'd probably be 5, 10 different chiropractors following him around watching him. And that was like his offices in New York. And then he started, and this is before social media and all that stuff, right? Before, basically even before the internet, right? So at that point, people would come to his office because if they wanted to toggle the best, they would go to Donnie. If they wanted to do structural adjusting best, they would go to Donnie. If they wanted to do Logan, Pierce, low force work, he was the one that NYCC students, because he was near, would go to because they knew at that point, we're talking, 3 decades ago, right? At that point, they knew they were not learning chiropractic in school, right? They already knew they were getting shafted relative to philosophy and to technique, and so that would be who they would go to. Like that currently there's people that we know that we go to for that because we know we have less chiropractic education in school. So he was the go-to guy, the hottest thing in chiropractic. His technique was developed with a phasing system, and he had this question of people will master one technique like upper cervical, right? For example, and his basis was upper cervical work. Everything in network is really based on upper cervical work principles. His mentor was a doctor named Dr. Tom Whitehorn, who was worked in the B.J. Palmer Clinic, and he was the upper cervical guy at NYCC. And he would say, Donnie, I don't know if you're like a descendant like D.D. Palmer. I've never seen anybody have hands like you have in terms of how you adjust and move faster. And he was the go-to guy for knee, chest, upper cervical work. I mean, stellar. If you ever get toggled by Donnie, you feel like no other toggle even compares. right? So, however, he said, well, he started seeing, well, there's great things in Logan. There's great thing in toughness. There's great things in all these different approaches. How, rather than say, I want to do upper cervical, or I want to do Logan, or I want to do Gonstead, which he was, more than proficient in each, he said, well, how do I decide for the patient? Like, I'm deciding which one I want to do because I like it. How about flip that on the other end? Which one's best for the patient? How about I ask them what they want? Is there something ingenious in upper cervical? And is there something genius in Logan? Is there something genius in SOT? And what is the most, when to use which? So really network became a passionate search or crusade to figure out how to use which different approaches and blend them together. And doing that, then this thing developed of a protocol system. By the way, I piss people off when I say this, but it's the absolute truth because I was in the room. And I will say it forever and ever because I saw it all happen and I saw it all go down. I saw people say it. Everything in TRT is basically stolen from network. TRT is they just took Donald's stuff and repackaged it. So, and they can give him credit and Talski and all that. So, but basically, if you're doing TRD, you're doing watered down network without the same specific scientific results. You're just saying it is. So that being said, network, for it, he developed the network protocol phasing system. I sat in many programs with Marvin Talski by my side, and basically he took that work. So, but then as network was developing, the wave would develop as a response. What happened was they found that if you check people in a certain sequence, a certain protocol system, actually nerve system coherence develops. So that way the person's body develops this undulating movements through the spine that make changes in the alignment of the vertebra. And I have pre and post X-ray studies that are published, more that are coming out. There is the largest quality of life research study in the history of the chiropractic profession was done with network, and lots of techniques love to quote it and say, hey, chiropractic has great quality of life changes, but those happened with network, and nothing else has gotten a quality of life change that the network has. And then development of the network wave really is a sign of the coherence develops in the nervous system. So, for example, and by the way, I'm going to be in Atlanta teaching a little bit,
awesome.
The level 2 program.
Awesome.
So, but that being said, if you think we all focus on, adjusting the spine is reducing interference, reducing subluxations. Here's the thing. You can make that allopathy. People can make reducing subluxations and reducing nerve interference allopathy. They can be allopathic about it, which is allopathetic, because they treat it like it is a disease to treat. Versus, well, what do we want to see? What does an unsubluxated spine looks like? What's the opposite of no interference? How does that show up? Okay? If a person doesn't have interference, what do they have? Or are we just talking about a new disease to treat, and we treat subluxation and interference like it's a new disease to treat that we have to get rid of? Or is there something that we want to see develop? Like, think about it. All the courses you had in school where they teach you how to feel the spine and what doesn't feel right. Does anybody ever teach you what a good spine feels like? Right. What is the spine supposed to feel like? Do you have any normal of this is a healthy spine and this is what you want to see as an outcome? This is what the person's spine should feel and look like? Or do we always go looking, we get trained to look for the negative? So think about it, the opposite of interference in something. What's the opposite of interference in radio waves? The opposite of interference in physics is coherence. We want to see coherence develop in the nervous system, or see evidence of greater coherence between the spinal bones, muscles, and nerves. And that's, I'll tell you something else to just highlight about Mile High. And by the way, I mean, you'll have to stop me because otherwise I'll just keep talking.
No, you're great.
If people talk about Mile High, Dr. Donnie Epstein, he never does programs. That's the only program you get to see him live at, and he does a technique mastery and artistry program at it because we have these great breakout sessions and we have incredible speakers. We only give Liam 1 minute. We only give him 1 minute at the end, so that's the max. Sometimes we give him 2, but anyway.
Oh, I love it. I love the friendly rivalry. Doc, that's awesome. So I think that if people were to watch this and watch this again and watch it again and watch it again, they will take away in a true understanding of what network spinal analysis is. And I think that's really important because I know for a fact at Life University, at Palmer, Florida, at Palmer, Iowa, I mean, you name the schools, and yeah, Sherman, Logan, you name any school out there, they're not getting the understanding behind the techniques that they're providing people. And they get, they understand, yeah, I'm going to palpate an abnormal spine or an aberrant spine or an aberrant system. We're going to find interference and then we're going to adjust it. But I love that what you said was we're always looking for the negative. How about we reverse that and start looking for, okay, that's normal. This isn't. How can we get that to that, right? Does that make sense? So
absolutely.
Yeah, and so Doc, you did a great job explaining that, and I'm really excited to actually watch that again myself so I understand it better, because I think all techniques work, but it's the passion, it's the intention, but it's more than that. It's the science that backs the technique. It's the delivery from the doctor to the patient, that the adjustment, and it's how the patient responds to it. So I think every patient's different, and I think looking at the patient and saying, hey, what do you need? Not like you said, Dr. Donnie was like, what's best for me? What am I good at, right? And then he started looking at what's best for the patient. What's better for them and their treatment and their end result. How do I get them there faster? And that's looking at them first, not myself.
You got it.
Yeah.
And I'll say this other thing. If you're a student watching this, and you're in a palpation class, club, whatever, or feeling the spine, just do this, because you often will stand around the spine and say, where's it holding tension? Where is it stuck? Where is the hip tilted? Right? Where's the pelvic? Where's the shoulders tilted? And you all point out things, right? And point out this bad, that bad, this bad, right? Stop for a moment and look at the person that's on the table and say, where are things right? Mm-hmm. Where are things good? Where is their peace? Where does it feel? Where does it look like there's more freedom? And how can I address the spine in such a way that the freedom spreads? Yeah. As compared to how do I get rid of what I don't like?
which is what a lot of times we do, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's an indoctrination. So I'm asking people to think about things the other side of the coin.
I love it. So I wrote down a couple things here. So number one is, what are the dates of the Level 2 seminar in Atlanta?
September 6th to 8th, Network Seminar Level 2. Yep.
September 6th to 8th, Network Spinal Analysis, September 6th to 8th, 2019, coming up in Atlanta. Will you be here?
Yep.
You'll be here teaching that? Awesome.
Yep. So, and my wife. My wife is the best chiropractor in Boulder.
Fantastic. So be sure to write that down on your calendar. September 6th through 8th, Network Spinal Analysis Level 2 is coming to Atlanta. And then the second thing I wrote down was this. I wrote down, I don't know if it's a Webster exact quote, but I'm going to paraphrase a little bit. But he always used to say, if you can do something with less force, why not do it? So it's like, if we don't have to rack them and crack them or whatever, however you want to put it, to, doing these more aggressive moves and diversified moves and all this stuff, and you can free the system through other adjusting and other techniques, why not do that? And that I think aligns really well with network spinal analysis. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, it seems it's a more tonal approach. It's a better approach to saying, hey, where are you right, and how can we spread that freedom throughout the spine? I love that quote. How can we spread that freedom throughout the spine?
Well, think of it this way, all right? And you were quoting. I'm assuming you're not quoting Webster's dictionary.
No, Larry Webster. Sorry.
So with that being said, we were taught at Sherman, in the Sherman package, be on the underside of underdoing. That was a quote we heard over and over again. When you're adjusting, be on the other side of underdoing. And here's the thing of whether people understand chiropractic, all right? Who delivers the adjustment?
Right.
A real chiropractor has never adjusted a subluxation because it's not the chiropractor's job to adjust the subluxation. Right. Innate provides the adjustment. If you are doing that, most likely you're manipulating rather than adjusting. Mm-hmm. And we're not physical therapists. You're applying a force, and your skill set is analyzing the spine, the spine and nerve system, the spinal neural integrity, and determining where can I apply a force that innate can use to make a change to upstep the organization of the system. That has nothing to do with applying a force to move a bone to left to right.
Right.
That is something that B.J. Palmer trashed in the 20s, and for some reason it became the center point of chiropractic education.
Yeah.
This is not about network. This is just pure chiropractic, right? Your role, and it's so disheartening to see some of the political things put out by like the British Chiropractic Association and the ACA, and you could go down the line, and even the CCE. And I'm not on a board of any chiropractic school anymore, so I can say whatever I want about the CCE because it's the Council on Chiropractic Education, Council on Chiropractic Eradication, excuse me. So with that being said, the thing is that you're not applying a force to move a bone. If you're doing that, you've missed the boat as a chiropractor. You are analyzing the spine and trying to find a place that you can apply a force that the body can use to then have an end result that the nerve system, the spine, nerve system, the human being, the organism is at a greater level of organization. It's expressing a higher level of organization than it would be if it was compromised. And there was a mile-high thread that I put about this. Well, I didn't really put about that. It was just... Do you have to know that there had to have been an audible to for it to be to know that you corrected a subluxation? And it was so inspiring to see the responses. Like nearly every chiropractor was like, "No, of course not." Right. But then if you think the public, they think something else, right?
Right.
And that's our own fault. It's not the fault of the art. It's our fault as chiropractors. We screwed them up.
Yeah.
You don't adjust the subluxation. You're analyzing the spine to determine where can I apply force that innate can use. And if you ask that question, I guarantee you your technique is going to start looking different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that is so important for people to take away and understand from this whole entire conversation is that it's about the person using the adjustment and adapting and adjusting themselves, right? Innate taking over and actually doing something with that adjustment to say, hey, look, now I'm, turning on organs, turning off organs, turning on muscles, turning off muscles. Like if we want to keep it super simple, super simple, but that it's a neurological input, and that is so important to drive home. But it's the perfect segue, Doc, into my second point, or my third point that I wrote down when you were talking about network spinal analysis, and that is the philosophical discussions that you do post on Mile High's page and group. So if you're not in the Mile High group on Facebook, you got to get there. Mile High Chiro, at Mile High Chiro on Facebook. Join the group. It's phenomenal. It's awesome. And Dr. Danny just posts, what should be simple questions and simple answers to these questions, but they end up turning into, 84 comment threads of, philosophical debates and sometimes healthy, sometimes not, sometimes very much not. But what is it about posting things like that? Like, where do we go, further with the chiropractic profession to say, hey, these posts are actually helping us bring us together? Or are these posts because everybody does it in the chiropractic world? I'm not calling you out. I'm not singling you out. I'm just saying, are we advancing forward as a chiropractic profession, or are we backtracking when we start bickering and arguing on public media, because then everybody can see it? And that to me is a little dangerous. But I love a good philosophical debate, and I love to bring everybody into it and say, hey, what's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on that? What's your opinion on this? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, it's a really good question. And I think, sadly, a lot of people that are my contemporaries would say, as a general thing, the chiropractic profession has downslid in terms of our focus towards subluxation and adjustment. We've lost that to a great degree. That's not new. That's not like students' fault. day or something. I was told that when I was in prereqs, you know. So, like we didn't start the fire, right?
Right.
So it was a long time ago, right? The Billy Joel song. So anyway, so here's the thing. However, notice that when I post those, I only do them within the group,
right?
Only Mile High groups. So, there should be mainly chiropractors in there. Yes, people could cut, paste, and share, but I would never put it on my wall. Those conversations are important for us to have together.
Yes.
And also, I want to say, I really want to give kudos to the people in the Mile High group, because the types of answers, they don't get nasty. I've seen other groups where they've got mudslinging. I don't really see that in Mile High, right? I really see that there's an educational bent to it, which is really good. And, hopefully it inspires people, especially students and young docs, to say, maybe there's more. Maybe I need to learn something from Liam Schubel. Maybe I need to be part of the IFCO. Maybe I need to learn a different technique than what I'm being taught in chiropractic school. Well, these people are saying that's physical therapy. Maybe there's something to that, and it may inspire more questions. Or maybe people say, well, maybe I need to grab Rob Sinnott's book on philosophy, right? Or David Koch's book, or one of those different ones. By the way, you probably had philosophy, David Koch. He was my philosophy instructor.
I did, yes. I have his book as well. I have a signed copy.
So, and not only that, but I actually got my degree from him, because he was, at that point, he was passing out degrees at Sherman, because we had a change in presidency, so I was like one of the few degrees he handed out.
Awesome.
That being said, I think that can be very beneficial if people do this. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of throwing rocks and judging and condemning other chiropractors, what if they chose to love other chiropractors more? Okay? Like, we can have a conversation and still love each other. We can be on the same team, right? I kind of have this point of view, and there's two teams to me in chiropractic, and the one is the one that's facing this way, and they're like, expand scope, drugs. And they may be on different how far they are along that point, but there's a place where they're looking in that direction, right? I'm sorry you're not on my team if that's the case. But then there's other people that are facing this direction that are subluxation conscious, want subluxation, adjustment, freedom from subluxation, and the adjustment to be a center point or a main point of their practice. They know it's central to chiropractic. It's the building, it's the center point of what we do. It's what makes us unique. And they may be on different places relative to their purity of that, but if they're facing that direction, hey, I love you, right? That's our tribe. And there may be like different things on that, but I'm not going to play this game of, you're an upper cervical chiropractor, so, you don't do the full spine, or the full spine, well, you're a mixer because you don't do Atlas or something we're past that point in chiropractic. Right now, what's vital for growth of chiropractic is for us to all know that if we're on that direction, we're all in this together, right? So even if you may do some things in your practice that I don't do, or I choose not to do, maybe it's, some supplements or something, whatever, you're facing this direction. We're on the same team. We're all in this together. Mm-hmm. We've got to rise this chiropractic ship up together, right? All right? And those people have to come together rather than throw rocks, right? So, rather than throw rocks, love each other a little bit more.
Right.
We're supposed to be a profession based on connection, healing, communication. That's what the nerve system being free is about. Connection, communication, synergy, right? And then you put a room full of chiropractors, how much is that expressed? So let's a doctor heal thyself, and we've got to do some healing of ourselves, so that we actually can be more impactful as an organization of chiropractors, rather than always being adversarial or throwing rocks at each other.
Right. We're the only, as Dr. Glowacki says, we're the only profession that circles the wagon and shoots in.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
so true. But at the same time, I think what you're saying, exactly what you're saying, is spot on when it comes to changing and remolding the public perception. Because here's the thing, the public is confused. And I'm very young in chiropractic. As you know, I'm still a student. And I'm 12th quarter, so I'm 2 quarters away from graduation and starting my own practice. But here's the thing is, my communication style might not be the same as yours, but I know that you and I are on the same team. You know, and
Right.
and I'm not going to sit here. I'm going to sit here and pick your brain about network and not bash it and turn around and say that stuff doesn't work. That's not who we are. That's not who I am. And that's not what makes this profession look like a solid, synergistic, communicative group of people who are wanting to heal the world and wanting to heal society. And so I think what you said is spot on, and it's a small step but a large impact, and that is loving each other. That's the absolute bottom line.
Hey, and just realize what you said. You've said it a couple times. This is really important because, as I said, this is the best episode you've ever done. Since you said spot on a number of times, just make sure that you say spot on more times than you said to Liam on his episode. I just want to be aware of that.
I love it. I messaged him, or I think I messaged him. I'll have to message him again and get him back on for season 3. But, Doc, thank you so much for talking us through Network Spinal. Thank you so much. Level 2 coming to Atlanta September 6th through the 8th if you're interested, and you can sign up for that. So please be on the lookout for that. Head to www.riseup2milehigh.com to get your tickets now. In the next 48 hours, ticket prices will go up. And you want to be sure to get on the website and get your ticket booked. All right, Doc, last but not least, tell us everything that we need to know about Mile High. What is it? Who's it for? And why did you start it?
I really started it because this happened. People want to expand the scope of chiropractic in Colorado. My wife was sitting on the Colorado Chiropractic Board. We don't know how she got asked to do that, but somehow they asked her. I didn't know if they did not realize who we were. But I believe in divine intervention, and she was there. And at that point, people wanted to expand scope into injections. I literally called, emailed every chiropractor I knew, and like 2 people showed up from our side, and half a dozen or a dozen showed up about expanding scope. And I was so pissed. I was so pissed at the apathy among subluxation oriented chiropractic. They couldn't come together to show up at like a crucial vote and express their thing, the expansion of scope into injections. So I got so angry about it. Enough fuel built up inside me that I said, you know what? Chiropractors are apathetic. They don't show up anything. The only thing I know they show up is seminars. And when I said that, it clinked in my mind that I'll have a kick-ass seminar, okay? And they'll show up, and then I'll use that as a platform to let them know what's going on in chiropractic. And at the time, my wife was on the Colorado State Board as I was on the Sherman Board of Trustees. So I said, we got lots of connections, right? So, we made a few phone calls, and in 4 months later, we had a program with 150 people there in Colorado, which was on fire. And so it happened ever since then. And, since then, Colorado's become a place that's known for the principle. It's known that there's passionate chiropractors about the principle there. Not everything's perfect in Colorado, but there's people that are showing up and doing something, getting involved in state organizations. So that was the deal. So then as I was refining this to what am I really doing with this? Because I'm busy in practice. We had a 700 person per week practice at this point. I was like, how can I keep up with doing this? What do what am I going to do? I realized, well, here's the thing. I want something that's going to fuel chiropractors and chiropractic. Mile High is not about Colorado. It's not about a technique. It's not about any one speaker. It's not about any one organization, though we highlight certain of all those things. It's about chiropractic, and it's about the principle and being a center point where people can, deepen their philosophical understanding, because there's a lack of understanding in the profession for students and doctors, and that can change their lives and change many in their community. Number two, that they can expand their vision. Okay, that I do quote Liam Schubel on. Okay, which is the bigger the vision, the bigger the life. But, vision is vital, and people have to get a vision beyond the four walls of their office, because we don't have time as a profession to just focus on ourselves. Mm-hmm. You have to expand your vision bigger than that. And I want you to be abundant in your practice and successful and change our lives, but we have to have an impact. Like, so for example, you doing this is part of vision expansion for you and your journey, right? Yeah, we need to do more of that in whatever ways we express that, in addition to what we do in our office, right? And then the other thing is strategies. People have to get connected with strategies, namely business, but other things relative to practice, so they can be wildly successful. The best thing you can do for your enemies or your detractors, okay, is to be wildly successful, wildly abundant and successful. So we want the people that have philosophy and have vision to be wildly successful. So we'll connect them with, we'll include speakers in that area, but all based on chiropractic and chiropractors. Yeah. And teams. Always bring your team.
Yeah, that's awesome. I absolutely love it. I love what you and your wife are doing. I think it's phenomenal. I cannot wait personally to be out there. I am super, super excited. And so head to www.riseup.milehigh.com, www.riseup.milehigh.com to get your tickets before ticket prices go up. Students will go up to $100, and I think doctors will go up even obviously higher than that. So get your tickets in the next 48 hours to get these discounted early bird prices, and get out to Mile High. Get out to Colorado. It's going to be epic. And go for it, Doc. What's up?
I'm going to spin the tables, okay? Why are you excited about being at Mile High? You're going to be there. Why are you excited about being there?
I am. So my big thing with
St. Liam.
I should have. Yeah, Dr. Liam Schubel, obviously. No, my big thing is the To Inspire Women ladies are helping me out. So Dr. Janice Hughes, Dr. Kim Carpenter, and Dr. Shaylin Osborne, all of them are helping me out to get out to Mile High, and they are absolutely crushing it. If you don't know about them, check out To Inspire Women. They are phenomenal chiropractors and coaches. And then, but I'm really stoked. The reason I started the Legendary Chiropractor really is because I wanted to better connect students and doctors. And that is the best place to see that in action is at seminars. No matter what seminar it is, if it's a principled chiropractic seminar, if it's just a general chiropractic seminar, just a rally, about chiropractic, I'm all about it. I absolutely love the camaraderie, the community that chiropractors show for one another. And you know what? To end on a positive note and to end on a high note, I spoke with Michael Tokash about, I think it was last season, in the middle of last season, and he's with 2020 Imaging Services. And so he said, I've never seen a community of professionals be closer together. And there is some truth behind that, because at seminars like Mile High and at conferences all over the world where chiropractors and chiropractic students are getting together to serve the bigger and better mission and vision of healing the public and helping the public, really. And people post on Facebook. So, like, if you need a chiropractor somewhere, I've never seen this in any other profession, right? Like, if you need a chiropractor somewhere, you're posting in all sorts of groups. Like, I need a chiropractor in Phoenix, Arizona. I need a chiropractor in Denver, Colorado. And people comment on it and say, hey, I'm out here, he's out here, she's out here, and that you don't see that in other professions. Like, that is a referral-based, social media thing that I've never seen anywhere else. And I've ventured very far away from chiropractic on social media to try and learn better skills and business strategies and communication styles and stuff like that. And I've never seen that anywhere else. So I think that's so awesome. And Michael Tokash brought that to my attention. And so it's really, Mile High is about camaraderie to me and community and getting people together and connected in a much better way and more powerful way to lead and follow at the same time that same mission and vision that you should be having. If you're watching this, you probably have the same mission and vision that Dr. Danny and I have, and it's to heal the public and to help the public as much as we can to live at their optimal potential. And that is what we do as chiropractors, and that's why you got to get out to Mile High. You just have to be there. And I'll throw that out there for any chiropractic conference. Go to a chiropractic conference. Go to a seminar. Get dipped or lit on fire, whatever you want to call it. Do that for yourself because it's going to help you in the long run, and it will help communicate better with your patients because they'll see your passion, they'll see your inspiration, and they'll say, man, this guy really loves what he does, or this gal really loves what she does, and this is what it's all about. So that's why I'm excited, Doc.
Good. You did a good job there.
I appreciate it. So yeah, it's...
Make sure I buy you a drink when we're out there.
What's that?
Make sure I buy you a drink when we're out there.
Oh, absolutely. So if anyone has any questions, Doc, how can they better get in touch with you?
Okay, so the best thing to do is to send me an email to support@milehighchiro.org. Just like it's spelled, sounds like it's spelled exactly like it is, no dashes or anything, just www.milehighchiro.org. So support@milehighchiro.org.
Okay.
And come up to me. If you're at Mile High, come up to me and say hi, give me a hug, so I can appreciate you as a chiropractor. And if I see you at any other chiropractic program, then do that as well. As well as, hopefully I see some of you in Atlanta.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for being on today. Thank you so much for all of your wisdom and your knowledge that you dropped. This was a great, great episode and a great, great podcast. So, Doc, without further ado...
Thank you. It wasn't a great episode. It was the best one.
Oh, man. Oh, you should send this. If you don't send this in a private message to Dr. Schubel, you're doing something wrong.
Well, he probably didn't watch it live because he knew you would be embarrassed.
That's amazing. Awesome, Doc. Well, thank you so much for being on. I'm glad we finally got together and were able to communicate and get on a Facebook Live because it's really important that we get this message out there. I'm going to do a quick shameless plug. If you are a chiropractor looking for an associate or looking to hire your next best CA, your next best massage therapist, whatever it might be, if you're looking to post a chiropractic job, any job ad, please head to postachiropracticjob.com/thelegendarychiropractor to do so now. Again, that's postachiropracticjob.com/thelegendarychiropractor, and you'll be able to scroll through, check out the packages, and you'll be able to post your jobs for just $83 a month. That's unbeatable prices, and that is what we have going on right now at the Legendary Chiropractor. So, Doc, thanks again for being on. Have a great, great day, and I cannot wait to see you out in Colorado.
Excellent. We'll see you there.
Awesome. Thanks, Doc.